So, hey everyone, today Hari and I have a special guest, Eugene, who leads our global support organization at Yugabyte. And if you have ever wondered what makes Yugabyte support different or why some of the world's biggest enterprises rely on us to keep their systems running 24/7, this one's for you. For me personally, I have seen customers rave about our support, and I thought that will be a great idea to get you guys some time to really delve deeper into this.
Yeah, and this one we're gonna keep it real, right? There's no marketing stuff or anything. There's just like straight talk of enterprise grade support, what we hit day to day, what our customers feel, how engineering and support work together, stuff like that. Right. So yeah, Eugene, just how about you just go introduce yourself, right? Let's start from that.
Hi, I'm Eugene. You may know me from WebExes and Zooms and stuff when your systems are down. And I'm just trying to talk you through it, telling you to get support bundles, feverishly buying time. Me and my team, we love solving interesting puzzles. And with a distributed system like Yugabyte, there are plenty of interesting puzzles. They're complex, but they're a lot of fun to pick apart. And we're always excited to see how we can do it better or faster the next time around. So that's really me in a nutshell and my team. Yeah.
Very cool.
And like so for the people who are listening in, like why is support so important for a ecosystem like a database, a critical piece of the system?
Yeah, I think what makes us important is even in the age of AI and stuff. I think it always helps that when you open a ticket or anything like that, you're going to have a real live human hanging out with you, being your partner problem solver in working through issues. I think some things that are definitely unique about what we do in support here is that differentiates us from anywhere I've worked or other vendors that I've worked with is that um, basically everyone from the CEO down to everyone, they all have a very kind of customer forward mindset, and everyone kind of knows about all the different issues from different customers and things like that, and are always eager to provide input, perspective, which is always important for solving on just whatever it may be, even if it's out of people's core competencies. I think there's always that tenacious attitude towards solving problems. And why it matters is because people don't like broken stuff. So it's pretty straightforward. But yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, taking this one step forward, so
Yeah.
what do you see this biggest difference between Yugabyte support and traditional support models? Because I was just saying, as I
Yeah.
was talking to some of the customers this morning, even they were talking about our support very highly, and I would expect them to talk about bigger companies support where they have a lot of people, and we are all running very tight shifts here.
Yeah.
How can you still provide that kind of support to customers?
Yeah, I mean, I think really it kind of extends on what I was just talking about with everyone have a very kind of support forward mindset. That is what's really unique here. It's a very common phenomenon at other companies to have a situation where, there can be like a wall effectively between support, engineering, sales, anything like that. Here, there's certainly no sense of that at all. There's low resistance. Everyone's always working together, playing to people's strengths and understanding that we're working towards that common goal. The other really important thing that I've seen here, as an extension of what I was just talking about, is that the loop that we have from development to what customers see and reflecting it back in the product is extremely tight. There's no layers of sustaining or this or that or different layers that you have to go through before you can kind of see meaningful representation of things that we've done as a result of issues and reflecting that in the product. I've been doing that for years. I can count. It'd be a very long list of different horror stories that have actually resulted in, things, whether they be in YBA, in terms of metrics or things that we present, or even in the core database in terms of, other resilience capability and that sort of thing. So that is really what makes us unique.
Very
And
cool.
even from the engineering side, right, these all become sort of features that we build. Any problem that the customer hits, it's a bug. So we take it down and we track it every release, and we try to fix them as soon as we can.
Yeah, I mean, and I've told this a lot to people internally and even to customers. I mean, when we have issues or incidents, these are ad hoc development projects, if you will. We are investing engineering time. We're investing lots of time and effort into these things. So, in a sense, these are like product requirements, which don't require any mitigation, right? Because whatever we have done has already proved useful, right? And that's what I think everyone truly believes in, which is why we prioritize issues that come from the field and what we experience through a lot of fun, excitement, and some tears here and there. So
Very cool. So without naming names, Eugene, then can
yeah.
you share an example where our support really made a difference for the customer? I mean, I think it's better than me telling the story. I think it'll be good for you to tell the story.
It's a fun
Yeah,
story. It's a crazy story.
yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, because I'm looking at Hari on the screen, I'm thinking of one that we partnered pretty heavily on. There was a large financial institution eager to go live, and as you know, go lives are never smooth, and I don't mean that in a bad way, right? I mean, this just kind of comes with it, right? You're always going to be discovering things last minute,
It's
and we
stressful.
had
It's stressful for everyone involved, right?
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, yeah, and you're always subject to that phenomenon where you're trying to launch the space shuttle, right? So you're, at that pointy end of like sunk cost, right? And then you have go fever and you want to go, right? Everyone wants to go, right? And there's always a delicate balance there between, what we'd like to do, but also making sure that it's the customer's decision, right? So that was the large arc of this most recent one, and we had no shortage of little issues, right? Things that we could work around, that sort of thing, the expected things, all the way kind of backing up into things like, hey, so your application is doing exactly what, right? And then we start to ask some questions, and of course there's no harm in revisiting things or even kind of rechecking everything, right? That all the bolts are tight and everything like that. um, and that was a very interesting where we had as part of some of the user acceptance testing, something that they found when looking at the database and some of the results they were getting. Um, my friend, who was in the middle of the screen here, he was, as I was saying, very eager. I don't know where you get of that energy, but
From you. We get from you. Every time we see him, we're like, okay, he'll be fine. Eugene is here.
actually, on the side, that's a perfect example of when I was talking about the relationship with engineering and support. One thing that really makes it unique is that, like, when I get a chance to meet different engineers, they go, when you're on the call, I feel so good when you're on. And I was like, whoa, because I feel good when you join, right? So it's truly a partnership.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great culture that we have, right? That's
It
amazing.
is. It is, right? Because again, to contrast it with other places and things, it'll be like, like sometimes people come in, to a call with that, like, with absolute dread. There's always going to be dread of the unknown, but when you see that, there are faces that, provide you mutual reassurance, it's always a really unique and wonderful thing here for sure.
Mhm.
So the funny thing about that story was that we started, picking apart exactly what the application was doing. And, it was in the area of one of our features, X cluster or cross cluster. I know that people call it different things. And, Hari played the role of educator, really. And he was able to come together, provide actually, it was a very nice presentation around topics which could get people worried if presented in the wrong way. And what you were able to do was present it in such a way that you could explain to customers what certain considerations are in terms of utilization of the feature, understanding the points that they may need to re-examine, but also understand some of the considerations going forward. Definitely not an easy situation where that did involve people from the field, right? And kind of, again, as an example of some of those relationships, we had some of our services people, some of the people early on in the design of the solution, all being on the same page and trying to navigate that. I'd
And we're
say,
pushing the system to the limit, right? Like
yeah,
what you can
absolutely.
do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you have to be careful there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it became one of these situations where, as we kind of put all of that under that larger business decision, it really is one of these situations where the customer's like, oh, should we go live or should we not? And obviously, you could say, oh yeah, don't worry about it, right? But you have to tread that fine line, making sure that it's a collective decision, but
Mhm.
ultimately their decision, right? And we want to influence them in a way which we provide them with the appropriate biases. And that one had a lot of interesting things, ranging from deep rapid technical analysis all the way over to things like creating educational material
Mhm.
for catered to that customer. So I mean, so Ron, I mean, you can get a sense for how broad issues can go, and then how it is a very exciting landscape, I'll say.
Yeah, that's it. Hari, and you guys were saying you gotta be careful when you gotta push the system to the limit. Today, I was talking to a customer, and it was interesting. We were looking at their graphs, and it was
Mhm.
interesting that the data just kept on scaling and scaling, and was able to hold. And the things that were dropping is things like authentication and things like some of
Yeah.
the other services. But it was amazing to see that the distributed model kept up with all this data. And talk about pushing limits. Harry, we still are going to do that billion vector
The
sometime
billion vector thing. Yep. Yep.
pretty soon. So
Mhm.
rounding this up here, so thanks again, Eugene, for joining. This is awesome. This is awesome story here. One of the most important pieces of our story. Great tech is only half the battle, right? Great support is really what makes it enterprise ready. And for me, at least, talking to customers is very good to hear that from the customer instead of me telling them that, hey, this is what we're doing. So from day one, hearing that gives me a lot of confidence in what we are doing and how we are moving forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's fine. You can go.
I guess the question, Ron, was kind of what we're looking for, going ahead, and what we have our eye towards. Was that what you were getting at?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
as we are like kind of looking at it, where do you see things going? Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So where I see things going is, other than wild success for our company, is I think with AI, I think that's a topic on everyone's minds, right? Especially in the area of support, and people talk about, oh, that's the end of like support and things like that. I think that's on everyone's mind. I, for one, definitely encourage the judicious use of AI. Um, I think there are obvious risks with it, but ultimately there's no more risk than when you're Googling for thing, or if you're on Stack Overflow and you're just kind of
Mhm.
on the side, feverishly learning something or researching something, right? One kind of funny story is that the support team is expanding. We are adding people, and as part of the interviewing process, even I think it surprises people when I said, oh, feel free to use AI when we're talking about these subjects and so on, because in the end, if you can't describe your problem to a person, you won't be able to describe it to an AI either, right? It can't read your mind in the end. Um, but with that in mind, when I said like judicious use of AI, I mean, there's some obvious uses and things like that. But I think, going back to some of your first questions, the things that make our support organization unique, is the extra human part of it, or the relationships that we have with the engineering teams and so on, right? And I think, if anything, AI enhances the value of the things that I had laid out, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's just making sure that we use technology in an appropriate way. That's what I definitely have my eye towards. And yeah, I'm excited about it too, because I think it does bring a lot of efficiencies, as everyone would think, but also just understanding how that fits and how it mates with the culture relationships that we have. So that's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. That's all I had. And Harry, just wanted to. You were saying something, Harry? Anything?
No, I just was going to ask some things that Eugene would want from our customers. Any closing thoughts? Any wishes?
I can. This is a call to action. I can put a call to action myself, right? So what I'd say for anyone out there, if you're going to open a ticket, number one, don't page because we like to sleep, and then two, definitely.
Don't put a ticket.
Yeah. What I'll say for sure is just what I was talking about in terms of the AI and the use of like analysis, and also most importantly, that culture with engineering and all these people that are always excited to work on issues. The more that you send your logs up front, the better off you'll be, right?
Yeah.
That'll be my selfish action for everyone there.
Yeah. But in spite of that, I mean,
Yeah.
the support that we have seen you provide in odd hours and Saturday and Sundays, and I think that really kind of showcases that enterprise grade readiness and our willingness to come together and really provide customers that next level support that are creating raving fans of Yugabyte in customers. So that's great to see, and thanks for doing that, Eugene. Looking forward to many more of these.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd like to know who these raving fans are, because people only call me when they're upset. So
Yeah, I'll ask them to see this and remind them of this.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys very much for the time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you, Eugene. It's nice to chat with you in this sort of a setting and not in a
Oh yeah,
stressful
instead of
one. So
something on
yes,
Not in a
fire.
fire
Yeah,
drill.
absolutely.
yeah, so this was fun. Yeah, thank you. And there you go, folks. If you ever have felt the need for better support or do not like the support you got elsewhere, this one's for you. Please like and share this with your community as well. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you again. Bye.